Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're doing a Bible study on day 41, but as always, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and leave a comment on what you guys want to see next. But yeah, let's dive right into the Bible study. Alright, so today I read Galatians 4:8-11. It's Paul's concern for the Galatians. And Paul says, "But in the past, since you didn't know God, you were enslaved to things that by nature are not God's. But now, since you know God, or rather have become known by God, how can you turn back again to the weak and worthless elements? Do you want to be enslaved to them all over again? You are observing special days, months, seasons, and years. I am fearful for you that perhaps my labor for you has been wasted." And we go over here as our main thing as is being known, as being known. And these are some of the things I highlight. People struggle with the issue of identity because we feel trapped. Paul takes trapping of earth further and says we are enslaved by them. Sin distorts relationships with God. We become bound to weak and worthless things. And then I also highlighted in Christ, our hearts. In Christ, we find what our hearts are so desperately looking for: to know God and to be known by Him, fully restored. And I also highlighted weak and worthless identities are replaced with God's power and righteousness. And God knows everything about us, faults, fears, or failures, and even our future. And we want to walk in the freedom with God. And the last thing, God shows freedom, gives you a choice, can live trapping of being known, of things you've done, you do, and one day hope to do. Or you can walk in the freedom to be known by God because of the grace of Jesus. So now we're going to go to the questions. All right, and now the three questions for us today were: how did Paul contrast the Galatians' lives before believing in Jesus and their lives after becoming Christians? And my answer for that one was that they were lost and bound to sinful nature, but after finding Christ, they became free. And the second question: what was Paul asking in rhetorical questions in verse 9, which I'll reread that again. Verse 9, Paul says, "But now, since you know God, or rather have become known by God, how can you turn back again to the weak and worthless elements? Do you want to be enslaved to them all over again?" So my answer for that, Paul was asking, if we see how God's freedom is so great, why do we turn away? And then the rest of that question says, what are some weak and worthless elements you are tempted to turn back to? Why? I said things that may tempt me is judging, anger, temptation, and laziness. And why you get tempted by those, I think it's really because worldly things. If I go on my phone too much, I might judge other people or become tempted or just get angry. And then also, which causes laziness. So there's worldly things. And then last question, how can you avoid slipping back into the trappings of finding your identity in the things of this world? I said stay strong in the Word, consistently pray, and ask God for guidance. Displace yourself from worldly things like bars, parties, etc., which could also be your phone, stuff like that. But yeah, I think this was a really important lesson today, and I thought it was very good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I will see you guys all for tomorrow's video. Everyone have a good night.